So what is up YouTube? I'm Speedy with another video, and today's video will be a story time, and this story time will be based on my very first WWE event I ever attended. Don't mind my dog, she's just like there cleaning. Her name's Ginger, by the way. On to the story. I remember celebrating my 12th birthday. I just came home from school, and then my parents surprised me with balloons and some WWE action figures and t-shirts and a cake. The cake wasn't based on wrestling, it was just on chocolate cake because I love chocolate cake. And I remember telling my parents that what I wanted for my birthday, other than the stuff that they gave me, was I wanted to attend my very first WWE event. Doesn't matter when and where and what brand it is, or if it's a house show. And they totally agreed on it. As I was scrolling to the WWE.com website on the internet, and next thing I know, I scrolled and I saw a post. It says ECW and SmackDown taping on June 3rd, Tuesday, 2008. And I remember saying, I was like, I want to go. And I clicked, and I think it was in the last minute thing, because I remember looking them up on April, and the event wasn't on June. And I know the floor seats, risers, were all sold out, and just the higher seats that were still available. When I was little, I did not pay attention to where I wanted to seat. It didn't matter if I sat floor or in the middle section or higher. Not until just now, when I'm used to sitting on floor seats when it comes to wrestling shows in general. As the higher seats were available, they were like $20 each person for the show. And I told him, Dad, I want to go to this WWE event. It's on June 3rd, 2008. It's a ECW show live, the WWE version of it, and also the SmackDown. And at that time, I did not know why it said SmackDown at the post, which I'll explain later on. But I told him, I want to go there. I really want to go there really badly. And I was like begging until my dad convinced yes. So I was happy. A week prior to the event, we drove to the Staples Center. We went to the box office. I did not plan on buying the tickets online or on the phone. We went straight to the Staples Center. We bought the box office. We went to the box office, paid I think $50 for just the two of us, and in the highest there was and the available there is. I don't have the ticket right now, but I still remember the memories. That's why I'm talking to this memory right now, as on YouTube. So 9 years from now, I went to ECW/SmackDown at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and it was just me and my dad. We sat risers. I think we got there around 4:30. I say 4:30, and we didn't get into 5. We sat the highest it's ever been, and I remember there was a dark match between Hardcore Holly, I believe, and MVP. MVP took the win, and then they were just showing clips of, oh, go to the WWE shop, oh, buy WrestleMania 24, or relive the WrestleMania 24 and buy the freaking 3-pack DVD set. I was hyped up. I did not care what they were showing. I was just hyped up to be there in person. I remember when I was really young, I told myself I really want to go to one of the shows, and that dream happened on June 3rd, 2008. And I was too hyped up. I had the camera rolling. I was just waiting for the countdown, and then they were starting the ECW live show, which it was at the time every Tuesday. And that's the thing, I don't have the video clips or pictures on me because they were in some other computer at the time that I had, and don't know what happened to it, but it crashed. I don't have anything to memorize anymore. The only thing I can memorize is just my head. I can remember what I did, what happened, what I saw. Oh, ECW started, pyro went off, and I was just too hyped. And then I was right next to my dad telling, oh, thank you so much for taking me. I was too hyped up. And we were barely gonna watch the match between the Fatal 4-Way between CM Punk, John Morrison, Tommy Dreamer, and Chavo Guerrero. And the winner of the match will face Kane later on, because Kane was the ECW champion. Whoever won, they don't get to face Kane for the for the ECW champion. Just faced Kane in a non-title match. So CM Punk won, and then I remember clearly that I think it was the time where Armando Estrada, Umaga's manager at the time, he was also the general manager of ECW, and that day, that specific day, that's when Teddy Long like barged in, and he told him that he has been placed as the new GM of ECW. And I remember Armando Estrada's like trying to like beg that all this could be wrong and what could he do to stay in ECW. And that's when Teddy Long booked the match between him and Matt Hardy, which he was brought from SmackDown. And I remember Armando Estrada lost to Matt Hardy, and then Teddy gave him one more chance, which Armando faced Colin Delaney, who, if you guys don't know, Colin Delaney, he was just a weak person. He's like the old school of James Ellsworth. And Armando lost again, and that's when, yep, bye-bye Armando. It was the final match between CM Punk and Kane in a non-title match. I believe it was CM Punk who won, or Kane, but I do remember that I think it was interfered by John Morrison and The Miz, and when they were a tag team at the time, they were I think the WWE SmackDown tag team version of it, which they brought the titles to ECW. And then the show ended, and then we waited like 40 minutes or 30 just to like for everyone to go to the restroom or buy more food or go to the concessions or go to the WWE merch stand. At that time, I thought that was it. I was like ready to go home, but then the ticket also shows SmackDown, and I always thought that we were gonna be back here on Friday, because it was Friday Night SmackDown at the time. Be back, on Friday at the Staples Center to watch SmackDown. However, that's when at that day, June 3rd, that's when I realized SmackDown were taped. SmackDown were taped every Tuesday along with ECW, and they just air it on Friday. I was too naive to know that. Within the 30 minutes, I told my dad, let's go walk around the Staples Center. Maybe I want chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Maybe I want, popcorn. And until we went to the merch stand. And I begged for my dad that I wanted this Undertaker shirt that was on sale. It was an Undertaker shirt. It was the 16-0, and it was him holding the World Heavyweight Championship because he won it at WrestleMania 24. And that's why the shirt was 16-0. And then the back of the shirt, it had like highlights or the matches of the people he competed in, all the way from whoever till 2008, when he faced Edge. And I remember my dad telling me that it was too much money to buy $30 for a shirt. And I was begging again. The back part of it was that they didn't have my size. When I was little, I would only fit small or medium, and they only had large. I was like, it's like I could fit medium, but I can't fit a large. It'll look too big on me. But I still convinced my dad to like buy me the Undertaker shirt, no matter how large it is, and no matter if it was like $30, and that's how much it costed. He said yes. I was happy. I wore the shirt the night, and we went back to our seats to watch SmackDown. And I remember being at the highest, just like taking pictures of the ring, taking pictures of myself, wearing the new Undertaker shirt. Like, what are you doing? She's weird, but she's cute. She's weird. Now it was the start of SmackDown. It started with the intro, but no pyro. It started as La Familia. If you're not sure what Familia is, it was based on a villain faction of Edge. He was the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was the SmackDown after Extreme Rules 2008, when he faced The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship as a TLC match, which Edge won, and that led to Undertaker banishing from the WWE, which Vicky Guerrero requested. So anyways, SmackDown started as having La Familia between Edge, Vicky, Chavo, the Edgeheads, Zack and Kurt Hawkins, and then some other two dudes, I believe. and they were celebrating. I think it's when Batista crashed in and demanded some match or opportunity, and Vicky Guerrero said if Batista wanted the opportunity, he will have to face Edge along with whatever who competed with against Batista's team, and that'll be based on 3 different teammates along with Batista. At that same night on SmackDown, it was also a Divas match between the SmackDown roster and the ECW roster of the Divas division. They were all competing for a so-called star, get the star off the ramp or top rope match, and the Diva gets a star. That means the Diva will face I believe Natalya or Michelle McCool for the new debuted Divas Championship. I think that night, Michelle McCool won. I'm not so sure. It's like I don't have to YouTube all this because I kind of remember all in my head. And you guys were there on June 3rd, and then you guys would most likely agree with me. The only match I did not watch at that night was between Santina Marella and then some dude who was familiar with the Jimmy Fallon show. And at that night, I think Jimmy Fallon was there live, present at that show, and also Guillermo. I think that one guy who was familiar with the Jimmy Fallon show won against Santina Marella. And then to the main event, Batista's team versus La Familia. And then Vicky, she was a villain at the time, a heel, but she got Batista, the teammates of Nunzio, Funaki, and Colin Delaney, 3 weaklings. I was there like, yeah. I'm pretty sure Batista says like, you got me up. At the end, Batista's team won. I remember clearly. And then what people did not know clearly, but except those who were present after the show was off the air, it was when Vicky was at the ring still on the wheelchair. I don't know who the hell brought her up, but Batista, this happened off the air, through Vicky to La Familia, and that's when people got hyped, and that's when the whole event ended, and just went home with a happy face on my minds. I was there like, best night of my life. So that concludes my story of my very first WWE show I ever attended. And it doesn't matter where you went on your first WWE event, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, NXT, house show, or a pay-per-view, whichever one was your first, you'll remember it. You'll remember it for sure. Because you know why? It's your first, and I'm pretty sure all of you enjoyed it while you attend your very first WWE event. I enjoyed mine, and I'll cherish that memory forever. That's why I'm making this video. And that concludes my video of my story time of going to my very first WWE event on June 3rd, 2008. Hope you guys liked this video. Make sure you leave a comment down below and subscribe. Till the next one.